Welcome, Cancer. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do a full moon in Aquarius reading for you about this full moon just occurred in the last 24 hours. So this is significant, having an impact on your the resources you share with others. So this is often a group that you make investments with, you share a largesse or an inheritance with. This can be intimate partnership where you have experienced life together and the necessities of maturing and growing old together. So there's a number of areas that are being impacted right now, depending on the circumstances of your life. And I trust that you are all able to recognize when this message is yours and when it is not. So I'm going to start with the tarot and then move to the oracle cards. And for your present card, you have the Judgment. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the Moon, not the Judgment card. Well, this is one of your cards. This is a card, although associated with Pisces, I associate naturally with Cancer because this is your ruling planet. Of course, we know the moon is not a planet, but for purposes of astrological interpretation, we cite the sun and the moon as stars equivalent to the planets. So this is an energy of a lot of unknown information, a lot of hidden knowledge, or the results of, or the impact of something that is occurring is not known at this point. So you can be waiting for a diagnosis, for example, as an example of the way the moon can be picturing in our lives. This can be some information that is being withheld from you by others, or that you simply haven't encountered just yet. We'll have to see what that can be about. In your past, the Lord of Swords is your rational, powerful intellect, able to not only be open to new ideas and alternatives as a problem solver, but a way that you can enlist discussion or conversation with others within your intimate circle to consider new ideas, to ask harder questions, to be curious, to not make assumptions about the way something is going to evolve. And this is important because there are a number of planets that are indicating that there are lots of new alternatives in the way that we are able to approach challenges. We have resources available to us that are relatively new. I say relatively because truly they were decades in the making. But we've reached a kind of social distribution of the media of knowledge in a way that makes the availability of ideas, new ideas, alternatives more available. And this is an area where you are particularly courageous and quite dispassionate in your research. This is a beautiful quality that is makes you some kind of a leader, or certainly a person of influence in the way that you share resources with others. In the future, the Six of Jades is about your ability to identify what it is that you desire and to equitably work with others towards that end. This is comfortable negotiating with others, making agreements based on the input of everyone and the recognition of different needs that are a part of the mix, a part of the opportunity to be resolved in some way. Your way of resolving is through engagement, through conversation, through sharing information, through identifying what the goals or needs are and creating a sense of priorities around that. And you do that. What is so lovely is the ability to articulate that in clear terms. And often you do that by simply being curious and asking questions. But the willingness to listen to the information you receive distinguishes your input in this particular environment, whatever environment that is. You're not attached to a solution, or you can detach in a way that makes it more fair and a more just consideration of opportunities. So you are fully engaged in negotiating, achieving a goal, and renegotiating on the basis of the result that you've obtained. This is almost like a scientific approach, which is much to be admired with the moon energy so prevalent in this reading. You can pick up on all the currents of others involved in these negotiations. You're very skillful at uh, uh, being curious about what you intuit others truly need or really what they want to know. Despite your highly rational approach, there is a huge amount of intuition and pursuit of justice in your query. I'm going to see the Crystal Spirit Oracle Sodalite. 5 and 2 add up to 7, which is the number of the Chariot card, which is showing me that you are moving out of your comfort zone. You are courageously navigating what you know, the information you have, towards the solution of a problem by opening up to your own discomfort, recognizing that you have to move into the unknown to find a solution with others to a problem, to some kind of boondoggle. I'm going to read a little bit about sodalite because I'm so intrigued by this card, this stone. The key words here are intentionality, an awakened state, and the clear expression of your intentions. Wow. Okay. So that's really affirming your openness to new ideas, your openness not only to new ideas, but the willingness to talk about them, to ask questions, to listen to the feedback or the responses you receive from others. Sodalite teaches us to be here now rather than lost in the past or gazing into the future. Meditation with the stone allows us to experience the wisdom of our journey thus far. It encourages non-attachment and integration of all experiences, helping us to make choices in the moment from a higher perspective. Healing doesn't require perfection, but it does require that you remain awake to the truth that you are a divine, beautiful being, always connected to the conscious universe. Spiritual amnesia will send you circling back to old patterns you vowed never to repeat. The appearance of sodalite spirit is a reminder to reestablish your sense of connection to the universe. Do not forget your worth, your values, or your truth. As you remain present in the moment, you more easily avoid spiritual narcolepsy, falling back into your old ways. I feel like that's the reading right there. This is really emphasizing the ability you have to detach yourself from your powerful emotions, even your powerful intuition, and allow that to guide you rather than to give you allow you to play into assumptions that you already have. You're curious and have a lot of practice resisting your old assumptions, surrendering to those, and being open, practicing being open to something that's new and possibly uncomfortable. For the wild unknown archetype, we have the village. Oh, okay. This is interesting because the village really does kind of bring up a lot for me, as this is about home and our leaving and returning to home. So I will read from the guidebook. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, one most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. For now, the world awaits. And I think additionally, it's more of a mindset than a physical place. That's important to remember. And returning to the village is as important as leaving it. This can be a thought of a completion or an integration of what you've learned out in the wild. Lovely. So, yeah, I do feel there is a strong pull back to home for many of you. And as a Cancer, that makes perfect sense. But home is now been reconstructed for many of you. For some of you, early in life, you are perhaps still contemplating the impact of, say, the first Saturn return, the time when you are making your symbolic break from childhood. For others of you, you are in a second Saturn return when you are navigating what is often called the midlife crisis. And ordinarily, by the third Saturn return, that can mark the end of our journey on the physical plane. But invoking Saturn here in Aries at this moment, in conjunction with Neptune, is also speaking very clearly about the desire to meld in with the unit, to integrate oneself, to fold oneself back into the romantic, nostalgic past, as opposed to the way in which we have come to reshape home for ourselves in order to move forward and solve problems in a way that can be challenging, uncomfortable, and frightening, frankly. Stepping into the unknown, that's the future. But being in the present, which I think this is also cautioning very clearly, allows you to hold those lessons from the past while opening up to possibly doing things very differently than you have in the past. If this reading, Cancer, is resonating for you, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate your presence here as I clarify the tarot cards. The Lord of Swords in the past is clarified by the World and the Hermit card. And the Moon card in the present is clarified by the Six of Cups and the Chariot. Oh, two cards. So I say the Chariot, the Hanged Man for the Six of Jades in the future, and one doesn't want to come, the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, it's always amazing to me how the messages keep repeating in many ways. So forgive me for not spelling out every eventuality. I leave that to you, dear reader, dear viewer, to fit the message as it fits your circumstances, and appreciate that this is a general reading. So the Lord of Swords clarified by the World and the Hermit. Interesting. So there's a way in which I believe you are putting an end to a sense of uh, being within your own nest, nesting within your authority. You have experienced the world. You have experienced some kind of an achievement or acknowledgement, recognition for work that you've done. You have been rewarded, and you recognize that that is an opportunity to close out a path that you have been on, to not only close out and complete a circle of activity or a chapter of your life, but also to prepare you for something new. I don't believe that the Hermit is what you're preparing yourself for, because I believe for many of you that you've never left the energy of the Hermit completely behind. In fact, you've had to inhabit the Hermit as a way of establishing your own authority, particularly with this energy around Cancer, the moon, the unknown, the mother. I think you have always found source within to reestablish who you are and reconnect with what is favorable memories of your past, favorable dimensions of your experiences that you have freely chosen, that bolster your sense of not only power in the world, but of integrity, rightness, a kind of moral and ethical authority. I think that is very much embedded in your experience. And it is really from that place of your own authority and experiencing the way the world works, that you are able to detach yourself from your personal emotions and really strive for rightness, justice, truth in your interactions with others. In the present, so the moon card, the mysterious moon, the card infamous for not being direct about what it could be about. But this is reinforcing to me this tremendous anger you have and ease you may have with your subconscious energies, your comfort in the past, and your ability to recognize that your greatest skills and powers are the result of feelings and experiences you've had in the past, but they're ones you've had to work for, because these are never on the surface or easy to see. And the Six of Cups indicates an incredibly powerful partnership, soul bond, primarily with yourself, of course, but with another individual. And there are two uh, blobs here that look to me like birds flying parallel together. And that's what this card reminds me of. A soul bond that exceeds time, has perhaps been long standing or long term for you, and reaches through many phases of your life. This partnership always is a reflection of the partnership we have with ourselves. And this is indicating to me that you've established who you are. You're comfortable with who that is, that you don't need to be in the spotlight to be affirmed, to know your power or your truth. And the Chariot is the way in which this particular partnership, this feels, could very much be a spouse. It could be a business partnership or a powerful friend or relative. But this partnership supports your bravery, your emotional intelligence, the part of you that is able to look dispassionately at a challenge and to identify solutions in which you invite others to consider with you. But your desire and ability to be uncomfortable is much to be applauded, because your ruling energy here, the moon, is about reflected light. It's not the reality of day. Sunshine shines on everything and lights everything up with a kind of clarity that we consider authentic, whereas the moon is reflected light. So it distorts things in ways that can make your anxieties or fears seem larger than they are. And yet and still you are willing to move beyond that with a lot of support. This is some deeply loving support to be uncomfortable. In fact, I would say a relationship that is central to your life represents that same brave urge on your part to move into the unknown, a partnership, intimacy. What's more mysterious than that? Because you're interacting with another person or other people who you can't know how that will work out. So I think this goes far beyond a individual relationship and is about the role that you play in working out something, a problem, a strategy, an approach, an opportunity with others. And in the future, the Hangman and the Four of Pentacles clarify the Six of Jades. This is a little bit more considered energy. For one thing, the Hangman is cautioning you, and you've already taken the advisement that you can step back, you can step away from those that you might ordinarily, even affectionately advise. Particularly with your intuitive skills, your company, your wisdom is often sought out by others because you're such a good listener, you're such a non-judgmental listener, but you have a lot of integrity, and but you're aware that there are times when your integrity is not what is the guiding principle in a community or a group navigating some resource or opportunities. That it has to be a shared action or activity, a shared commitment that is what is needed, not necessarily the leadership of someone who may or may not have the answer. And this is something that you have learned to step back from because you have operated your own life by holding on to what you know, by holding on to your perspective, a perspective that you feel serves you, serves your safety, your protection, and protects your foundation, a foundation you share with others. And yet, at the same time, in this newer opportunity to more actively navigate or manage something with others, you are aware that you have to reconsider your own perspective in order to see all the possibilities available. And that's in part why you are so clear about your intentions. You're so aware of possibilities or the opportunity to do something differently. And also aware that that can be very threatening to others. Even as you, one of the most protective, intimate individuals, quite likely involved, you are willing and able to step outside your comfort zone You're willing to try something that is different. You're absolutely committed to reach a goal that requires just that energy. Holding on to the clarity, the faith, the goodness of your intention, the honesty and transparency of your intentions. I think that's really important. You are committed to transparency, and therefore your ability to stand back allows others to step forward in a way that is necessary in order for it to be a committed strategy or opportunity. So I'm going to finish up this reading with a botanical inspiration. And out popped the sacred lotus. This is the most popular of inspirations, and the key word is enlightenment. And I think this is supporting this idea of intentionality, transparency, being fully aware, holding on to the core of who you are, despite the unfamiliarity of the challenges you may be facing, and the environment even that we are in as a collective, as a group of beings on the planet that are experiencing extremes of violence and scarcity in the world. So your ability to hold on to your awareness that there is enough for all, that everyone's needs can be met to a reasonable extent, is key to your ability to stay in the game, to stay committed as a part of the team, and to be a contributing member. So thank you, Cancer, for this lovely reading. Until next time, namaste.